I'm good. You ready to go?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do this.
Okay. Hello, everybody.
Hello!
How's it going? It's Kristen, Steve here. How's it going?
Yeah, I'm Kristen. He's Steve.
I hope you guys got that.
Yeah.
We're funny. Okay, so we both kind of gave you an update, I guess.
Yeah.
On kind of a little bit of a prelude to what's going on right now. I guess the long and the short of it is this video is here to kind of update the community on some endeavors, I guess.
Yeah.
We were participating in for a brief period regarding the MMPR and LPs.
Yes. I think I should preface this situation by saying that whenever me and Steve have a professional deal with someone in the works, we generally don't talk about it until we know something's going to come of it.
Yeah.
Or there's some result, just because it's not professional to run your mouth about every little thing that comes up, because stuff doesn't always work out.
Yeah. And I hate getting my hopes up and getting other people's hopes up, so.
So we weren't really talking about it out of a desire to just not be unprofessional if we didn't know if we were going to go through with the deal to begin with.
Yeah. And unfortunately, in this situation, it turns out we're not going to do it. But I think that's the best for the community, probably. I mean, well, we'll go into more details, but for the sake of this video, and to save you some time if you just want to stop it, I mean, we're not doing it.
Yeah, we're not doing it. So if that's all you tuned in
Yeah.
for, we were approached by some people, and
We're not doing it.
Yeah, we're not doing it because they're
Yeah.
just not the ethical type of people we would want to be involved with.
Right. Okay, so here's the backstory. So, in about August, no, I guess it was September. No, it was August. It was August.
Yeah, around August.
I was approached by a fellow who happened to be in the Air Force. He's a long-term soldier, you could call him, a veteran, I guess.
Yes, I suppose that would be correct.
Yeah. So, good guy. You figure trustworthy, loyal, right? I mean, stood up for our freedoms, good thing. Owe him a lot of respect for that. So that was kind of what led me to have the slightest bit of interest in this. I mean, people are proposing ideas to people all the time, and some of them are really credible, and some of them aren't, and some of them have to be wagered on whether or not it's worth the effort to put into or not. I mean, that goes for every situation, but not only the cannabis community, but in this situation, it deemed effort and our attention, I guess. So going forward, we're in talks with this fellow who happened to have some money and who happened to want to start a marijuana company under the new program to produce marijuana, give it to patients, or sell it to patients, and, you know, that was his game plan. That was his goal. He wants to retire, that kind of stuff. Right from the get-go, there were some issues with reliability, punctuality, things like that.
Yeah. He didn't seem to respect our time. Like, we'd agree upon a time to meet up and discuss things, or to go do things related to this endeavor we were going to go in on together. And he'd show up like 15 minutes, 30 minutes, like even an hour late on one occasion.
Yeah.
And I just think that's totally disrespectful.
Yeah, with no warning or anything. Like, it was just, he shows up and then gives you the warning, and that's just unprofessional. Anyway, so going forward, there was conversation. There were plans in place. The idea was that this fellow was going to start a company to sell marijuana to patients. I was supposed to be the quality control specialist in charge of the production and all that kind of stuff, so that way I could ensure the reliability and the quality of the product that was going to patients. Because patients is, looking after patients is what we're about, right? You can't go into something, with all the advocacy we do, we can't go into something where that's not the main priority. Like, that's our priority. Therefore, if we went into business to look after patients, you got to look after patients. You can't look after your bottom line first. You gotta look after your patients, and then if you can sustain your regular normal life off it, then that's good enough. Like, no one needs to get rich off this industry. So, we had issues with some of the conduct that was displayed by these people. There was, conversations had on a candid level between Kristen and myself. The two initial people involved in this idea that were just. I mean, they're shooting the shit.
Yeah.
There's hey, you could call it beer talk or whatever.
Or like really close friend talk, you
Yeah.
know, the kind of stuff you only talk about when you're with people you really trust.
Yeah.
And they were divulging that information to people that they shouldn't have been divulging that information to.
Yes,
in a way that just came off totally unprofessional and inappropriate in some cases.
Exactly. Conversations that involve, strippers and illicit drugs. I'm not gonna bullshit. This is our truth. So
yeah, they were talking about like all the blow they did in a grocery store we went to go look at some equipment.
Right, and that's just not the kind of conversation this community needs to be represented by. And that was another one of Kristen's and our concerns going into this, is that these people couldn't represent the community on a public manner that we, and I'm assuming that most of you out there will think was an appropriate professional level. I mean, we deal with enough stigma already in society that we don't need retired Air Force people, talking about cocaine, candidly amongst people publicly as the representation of a company that's supposed to be looking after medical marijuana patients. It just doesn't fly. Not to make a pun about the Air Force.
Yeah, unintentional. And also, like, there was, like, disrespect to women in general.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
misogyny. Yeah.
Like, they just, like, rampantly cheat on their spouses and stuff. Inappropriate. Just, and just, like, talking about that in a manner that's way too open, and, we don't want to draw that kind of light onto the cannabis community when we're already so stigmatized.
Agreed. I think that there's a level of concern that Kristen and I had for all these situational events that came up that was constantly building to the point where we got to a point where there was so much effort being put in from our side regarding paperwork and company and all that kind of stuff. Like, I mean, we were into this idea because we were under the understanding that basically that we were going to look after patients. That was the main goal. By them approaching me, that was the understanding that we had. But then through more discussion further along, it just turned out to be more about profits, and that was really a disconcerting thing. And that's not what we need. Patients before profits. Like, that's the best slogan ever because it rings true everywhere.
Yeah, I didn't paint that on a sign to turn it around and make it profits before patients.
Yeah, that just seems stupid.
That would be super hypocritical of me.
Right. So we definitely had to get to a point where we had to level the playing field, as you could say, and we had to lay our desires or our expectations of this company going forward to represent patients, and we labeled it out in a clear, concise email that we're going to post with this, I hope, demonstrating that patients and professionalism and these kind of things, and equal respect for our worth. I mean, that's another thing that came out of this, is that these people were expecting me to be their quality control specialist, work all this time, put all this effort in, basically be the face of the company, and they were basically going to pay me, basically a little bit more than minimum wage and it wasn't even out of their dime. It was basically out of a government subsidy for employing a disabled person. So they weren't even tempting.
They
to
weren't
give me
even
respect.
willing to invest in his talent. Like, they wanted to exploit and profiteer off of his skill and expertise and the years he's put into learning how to be a good marijuana grower.
Yeah, and my public face too. They wanted to exploit that so they could get at your guys' bottom line.
Yeah, they wanted to exploit all that, pay him barely above minimum wage, and make a ton of money off of this for themselves.
Yeah, like the words retirement and like when you talk about the success of this company, scare the shit out of me when you're looking after someone's health care. Like this isn't about like I mean they there was a whole level of doubt for me to project this as a credible idea. As much as Kristen and I like to think, we're great and everything. We're not the greatest. We know that. We know we're just a part of this community going forward, working together towards bettering the society that we live in. So, to think that we weren't going to have those goals that all of us have, projected and tried to be reached through this company that was supposed to be about helping people was extremely, extremely damning for their credibility with us. And we tried to explain that to them, and it wasn't even paid attention to.
Yeah, it was like having a conversation with a wall when we brought up these ethical concerns that we had. Like that, we're trying to argue for a company that is owned by people who helped cut down marijuana plants.
Yeah, this is another thing that put us off, obviously, was that these people were in the Air Force. They were part of those drills where the Air Force sends up like a recon plane, and they do satellite imaging of the mountains in BC. That's where they find the illegal grow-ops, and then they satellite GPS tag it, and then they send it to the police, and then the police go. Like, these are things that were told during, like, the tail end of our dealings with these people that I was just like...
Yeah, it was like, that's something you should have been forthcoming with us about.
Well, not even that, but, like, even that they've done it is enough for me to be like, when they asked me they asked Kristen and I to write the About Us for the company, so that way we seem more credible. How are we supposed to write that with good conscience, knowing what they just told us?
Yeah, like I can't stand up for something that's like that. I was really into this idea because I know that there are some patients who aren't going to be able to continue growing after MMAR goes away. And I wanted there to be at least one company out there that at least sort of looked after patients.
Yeah, something that at least...
And at least Steve could vouch for the quality of the medicine, someone who's somewhat trusted in this community and people kind of know that he knows what he's talking about. And this is the kind of people that they are getting licensed, are people who know nothing about marijuana, who've never grown a plant in their life, who've never even so much as germinated a seed, who are buying the marijuana grower's Bible and talking to a few gangsters in grow stores and thinking they know everything there is to know.
Not to diss the Grower's Bible, that was a good book.
It is a good book, but you're not going to learn everything you need to know just by reading one book. There's a lot of work that goes into learning it, and to think you can just learn it in a day, basically, is insulting to people who've devoted their lives to this.
Yeah, no, I agree. Kristen and I, like we said, we're just a small part in this. I mean, there are people that have been in this for, longer than the two of us have been alive put together. But we know that we have the same aspirations and the same goals for this community. And that's progress. That's patient-orientated care. That's accessible access to medicine. That's these kind of things. And these are the things that were just, like, foreign calculus, formulas to these people. That it was just, I'm speechless.
Yeah, it's really hard to put the feeling into words. Like, I feel like we just got taken for a ride. Like, these
Straight
guys
up.
were just... Because the way they talked about Steve's talent, too, was like, that he was disposable, he wasn't their first choice, Every minute of, like, interacting with these guys got more abusive and more like, we don't really need you.
Oh, yeah.
You're lucky to be in on this deal. You didn't put any money into it.
Yeah.
All this stuff about it. It's like, you sought me out.
Yeah, waving $10,000 in my face that one of the other, partners put up to get a piece of the company saying that, you don't have any money, so you don't get a piece of the company. And I'm like, Okay, so I'm just worthless to you, basically. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Like, I, I, I mean, don't get me wrong out there, everybody. I'm not gonna devalue myself, but I know I'm worth more than nothing. All right, like, so I was just offended and just really upset that they thought that they could take somehow of a trust that Kristen and I have worked really hard to gain with you, and just manipulate it into some sort of profit scheme was just really, really frustrating.
Yeah.
And we spent a lot of time. It's caused fights between us. Like, I mean, not to
Yeah.
get personal, but
But
like,
yeah, it has caused a strain on our relationship. I mean, we've put ourselves at personal risk. We went to the police station and like thought we needed a signature on some form because because the guy interpreted the forms wrong.
right.
And we got threatened with a trespassing charge.
Yeah, all
Like,
because
I would get deported if I got a charge. Like, he put us in serious personal risk, and I'm not happy about it.
Yeah. No, it was not cool. Either way, so the long and the short of this video, even though it's been pretty long, look at my watch, eh? Good thing I know what time it is. What did we say to me? We're not doing it.
Yeah, we're not doing that because these guys are really unscrupulous, and this isn't the image that our community needs. This isn't. I don't want to be involved with people like that, and
me neither.
Yeah, I can't be involved with that.
Yep. No, I agree. If we don't believe in it, I mean, why would we do it? This isn't like we say from the beginning. Advocates don't get paid to, be successful like that. I mean, you can make money like on a normal career, but you don't have to get rich off sick people. That's the thing. I mean, that's the big separation that I have with a lot of people out there. Is that there are a huge amount of people that are making tons of money off all these sick people through a whole bunch of ways, and they don't do anything with it. They don't give it to charity that helps people. They give it to somebody else's, oh, I donated it to this guy's company that, happens to be their best friend that gives them deals all the time. And it's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Right? So, either way, we're not doing it.
Yeah. When that's been all we've criticized, like, our entire time in the community, we can't then turn around and do that.
Yeah, not gonna happen.
So, yeah, we were in talks with someone. It didn't work out because it didn't ethically work out for us. I think that point is more than adequately made.
Agreed. And I won't divulge names right now, but because I'm part of the application, and now that I've stopped the application, because I'm no longer wanting to be part of it, so therefore they have to reapply again. So, haha. Either way, now that it's if they turn out to have like already started the process and then they just cancel it or whatever it turns out to be, if they end up getting licensed, I will definitely divulge the names and of the company.
Yeah.
So. Oh wait, you know what? You're gonna find out the names of the company anyway because I'm gonna put that email in. So I didn't do it. But yeah. Oh, on a side note, I got this mail that everybody's talking about today. This one, it was like, I guess it was like this in the envelope. So you saw.
Yeah. So you saw.
You basically saw everything, which I mean, I understand that some people are upset about, and that's really, I'm sad that you were put in a place of risk or harm. And I think it lies on, the postman's fault or postwoman's fault at some points for exposure of the letter and carelessness to deliver such a letter, with somewhat discretion. I mean,
yeah, it's
they're
a
not
government
stupid.
form. They should slide it under your door or something.
But I personally was not worried. I mean, my mailman has known what weed it was. I mean, even when Health Canada used to sell it, it used to come in a Purolator envelope with, like, the little tinfoil bag inside. So, like, they knew what it was. So, like, they were... either way. The letter enclosed... By the way, I'm a blind guy. I can't really read this. So, something that you could all think about on the whole challenge thing of the privacy thing is that I called the government and they said that they couldn't deliver this to me in a PDF file. So, they'll say they'll get back to me though. So, keep that in mind. I'm a blind guy, I can't read it, right? Screen reader technology. But the list is hilarious. I like all the questions and the answers that they provided with us. I like how they gave us a list of questions, right? Like, they didn't ask us for questions. They just took this from some sort of, I don't know, formula that they came up with regarding what we'll think. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I think it's a joke. And frankly, I think I might burn it. So, yeah. That's about it. Other than that, I don't know, Babe, do you want to close this one?
Well, I think that we've made our points pretty clear. That there's not much else to say on the issue.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I will point out something though. Just one thing. I did read it, but I can't remember where it says. I used my magnifying glass. It took a while. I forgot what it said now because I didn't really read it. Oh, right. It talked about the program is changing because of rampant abuse of the system. Not like I'm laying blame or anything, but who abused the system? Who profited off the abuse of the system?
Is this one of those moments where we're supposed to know it's good because you're saying it in a sing-songy voice?
Yeah, I'm saying in a sing-song fashion.
Awful.
All right.
Just awful.
Just awful. Peter Griffin awful. Haha. All right. Anyway. Bye, everybody.